Hello, welcome to ARPA channel. I'm Jack, the founder of ARPA. This is the part 2 of Global Medical Device Regulatory System module. Again, we will expect students to study this medical device fundamental before the class discussion. In part 1 of the video, you learn about how to know your product is a medical device. For this part, we will talk about the classification, manufacturer, and product requirement. Classification is based on the risk to the patient. You can see product classified as a low risk, for example, wheelchair. Needle for injection is next level, like low to moderate risk. And then ventilator, which help you breathing, is considered moderate to high risk. For stent, which is implant into your body, is considered high risk. Globally speaking, most of the countries classify their medical device in a similar 4 risk level. But the risk level, they may call different name in different countries. Sometimes they call A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2A, 2B, 3. Some countries like US, Japan, they will classify their medical device in 3 levels, but they still based on risk. So how do you know your product belongs to which risk level? There are a number of factors affect medical device risk classification. For example, the duration of medical device contact with the body. Of course, 1-day contact lens will have a less risk than a 1-month contact lens. The next one is degree of invasiveness, like how the device go to or even go inside to your body. You can see dental mirror which go to a normal body opening versus needle, and then to a next level like pacemaker, which surgically need to go inside your body and stay there. If a device need to deliver medicinal products or energy to a patient, of course the risk is higher. If a device need energy to operate, for example pacemaker need electricity to operate, then of course the risk also higher. If your device have biological effect on the patient or any local or systematic effect, of course the risk is higher. For example, the product used on your leg will have a lower risk for a product used on your heart. Of course, absorbable structure will have a higher risk because it will absorb into the body and then potential systematic effect. To know your product classification, I highly recommend a website in HSA in the link here. You will answer a list of questions, then the website will be able to give you a suggestion of your product risk classification. For software classification, there are some tips. If the software drive or influence the use of another device, then the classification should be according to the combined intended use. For example, a software to control X-ray machine, then the whole product classification will be according to the X-ray machine risk level. If your software is used independent of any other medical device, then it can be classified in its own right. For example, software to analyze X-ray result. After risk classification, let's talk about manufacturer. If you have a multiple manufacturing sites, the keyword to determine who is the manufacturer is responsible, i.e. the one who is responsible for that manufacturing process. We call this legal manufacturer concept. Of course, some countries will follow physical manufacturer concept, i.e. they will see the product is actually physically manufactured in which country, and then they will use that country as the manufacturing site. I.e. you need to check the country using which manufacturer concept. Is it physical, which follow physical manufacturing site, or legal, which follow responsibility? For example, China, Thailand, Taiwan, they use physical manufacturer concept. Europe, for example, use legal manufacturer concept. For medical device manufacturer, the major requirement is to fulfill the ISO 13485 standard. Most of countries will use 13485 requirement as their core, plus or minus some local specific requirement and may call different name In Canada, maybe Camden Cars. In China, maybe GMP. In US, maybe QSR. The next part is product registration requirement. You can go to our ARPA website. There's a database tool you can make use of. You can click the database tag there. Then you will see a simple form to ask you some basic question and which country requirement you want to know. Normally within minutes, you will receive an email about the registration requirement you request. When you open the attachment, you will see the registration requirement, in this case in the example, about different classification, approval time, how much you charge, like that. You can see we try to digest the registration requirement in the country and tell you either yes or no as your reference. At the end of the table, you can see the source of information as well. This is a summary of how to get a medical device registered in different countries. The very first step, which is most important step, is to determine whether your product is a drug or device, which of course depends on the medical use and how it functions. Of course, please aware other special exemptions like social factor and historical factor. Let's assume your product is a medical device. Then you need to determine the risk classification, which of course based on the risk factor. Then you need to determine which site is your manufacturing site, which of course depends on who is responsible for the product. The next step is gather the related documentation to support the product registrations, which I hope you found the tools we recommend is helpful for you. I hope you can feel you have the regulatory power. You can determine the definition, the risk classification, where is the manufacturing site you want based on the above factors. Please also subscribe our channel and click the bell button for future update. Thanks for watching.